Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Retro Series fan channel exclusive, Sandman. Now before we get into it here, let's just take a look-see at both the front and the back of the packaging. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, Sandman does come with an alternate set of sand hands, one of them being this giant spiked club here. I'll do a number on your face. And he also comes with a giant sand fist with spikes on it. Again, that'll also do a number to your face. On top of that, he does come with a couple of sand stumps for his arms. So when you plug these sand hands onto his arms, if I can find the peg here, there it is, it'll look like the effects are actually growing out of him, much like they do in the comics. So I do appreciate that quite a bit. That said, these are a bitch to take on and off the figures, so be careful with that. And last but certainly not least, comes with an alternate battle damaged head sculpt. If we take our symbiote slash black costume Spider-Man utilizing the retro Spider-Man body mold. Pop his hand off here. Take this battle damaged head, slide it right through there, reattach Spidey's fist, and there you go. Spider-Man is punching Sandman right through his noggin, and Sandman kind of doesn't even really care that much. Yeah, the facial expression on this battle damaged head, kind of ironic considering you're literally getting punched right in the kisser, Jackie Gleason style, dude. But setting Spider-Man off to the side there. Definitely making up for the Rhino video the other day. Check it out if you haven't already. Taking a closer look at good old Sandman here. I know this is an older figure, but this is one I've wanted to talk about for quite some time because, well, I'm the one weirdo out there that actually prefers my Sandman to not be a giant. So I was actually really looking forward to this release. That said, I do have one glaring issue, one point of contention for lack of better term, with this figure, but I was able to fix it. So we're going to talk about that in a minute here, but I'm going to tell you, I really like the head sculpts on this guy. I didn't point this out in the Rhino review, but this guy and the Rhino, as far as the proportions go, pretty solid, but I do think the shoulders could be raised just a little bit. I think that would fix some things, because I know Marvel Legends are kind of wonky as far as proportions go a lot of the time, and I really think that's due in fact that the shoulders sit a little bit low. That said, they could use a little bit more meat on the back, but I think if they raise the shoulders, I would be okay with just that. That said, as far as his articulation goes, he can look up and down, he can look side to side. He's got a bit of tilt there, and some play on that ball peg, so that's nice. His shoulders go out to the side, they go back down, they can rotate. Now his biceps, they are a little bit on the gummy side, that's just the way it's made. It's not a QC issue, that's just how it is. This side in particular was gummier than the right side, so I had to put a little bit of lubricant in there, some dish soap to loosen that up. Now that that is in there, I don't really have to worry about breaking this thing. Knock on wood, right? But he does have a bicep swivel, it works okay. Double jointed elbows, that work okay. They don't look too bad either. I would say the bottom one looks worse than the top one. He's got a swivel in the wrist with a hinge. For those of you wondering, they do pop out pretty easy. So there you go. Ab crunch moves one click forward and one back. Not sure how agile Sandman needs to be, but I think that's good enough. He's got a waist swivel. Getting this out of the way. His legs can kick out to the side. Okay, not bad. Kick forward and back. I will say his hips are kind of loose. He's got a thigh cut. Double jointed knee. Works alright. Looks okay. He's got baggy pants on, so I'm not sure how you could cut that to make it look any better. And he's got hinge in the foot with a rocker joint. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Should be worth noting he has pinless elbows, which I appreciate because the quality is so much better. And for those of you guys out there defending the pins, here's the deal. The quality, at least on Legends, is bar none. The pinless is the way to go. McFarlane stuff, it depends. Okay? I'll give McFarlane the benefit of the doubt. When he does pins, they're at least not all floppy and gummy and like Legends usually are. Like, the knees are way gummier than the elbows, and I wish he had pinless knees, too. That would have made this the perfect Sandman figure, just about. Again, there is that thing with the biceps there. Actually, for those of you wondering, head pops off just fine. I would use a little bit of heat to pop that other one on, though. It was pretty tight when I opened it. But there you go. That is Sandman in a nutshell. If you missed out on the Build-A-Figure, or if you're like me and prefer him to be a little bit smaller, or if you want some options, this is the one to get. I think he's still available too, because like Rhino, he's a fan channel exclusive, and in my opinion, those are by far the best kind because they're not a pain in the ass to get. So that being said, let's now move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's our Retro Card Series Sandman next to his Build-A-Figure counterpart, who, as you can clearly see, towers over everyone else on screen, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's 100% necessary, and if I'm being perfectly honest here, I'm not a big fan of this body mold. It's just got some things about it that I'm not crazy about. That said, we also have the Retro Card Series Symbiote / Black Costume Spider-Man, who of course utilizes the Retro Spider-Man body mold, and as you can see, the Retro Card Series Sandman does stand a little bit taller than he does, which is good enough for me. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, Livid Spawn, who as usual towers over everyone. But for those of you who know Sandman, know he can change size. So does good old Al Simmons actually tower over everyone? You guys let me know about that in the comments below. With that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and while I do have some minor gripes with this figure, particularly with the biceps and the way that the sand effects attach to the figure, I think you're going to scratch some of the paint off after a while if you use those too much. At the end of the day, this is still the Sandman that I wanted for my collection. Even though I did already have the Build-A-Figure, I do have more issues with that one than I do with this one. So I'm going to be 100% honest and say if you are looking for a Sandman to help round out your Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, Sinister Six, or Marvel Legends collection in general, then this is the one to get. That, and I do believe it's significantly cheaper than that old Build-A-Figure. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. And if you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when Spider-Man punches a hole straight through your face. I mean, that's just rude, dude. You ought to know better than that. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.